Okay, it's August 3rd. We have less than 3 minutes till market open. A few things you kind of had to note before going into the trading day in for MNQ right now is that we're still holding that 1-day bullish S&T from this June 11th low right here. Okay, still holding that 1-day bullish S&T. ES still has not taken that out. Not only that, what's a little interesting is this bullish displacement candle that you can see on the 1-day. It's an engulfing candle, engulfing this bearish candle right here. It started reversing to the upside right above this 50% range. So if you set up Fibonacci from this low to this high, this is our 50% and 61.8% retracement range. Now, price doesn't have to, but typically, especially since we saw a clear move to the downside where price wants to pull back and fill any inefficiency, since we're already doing that, I do want to consider what the Fibonacci tool is showing as our 50% and 61.8% range. And it's just a little weird that we rejected right before entering it, especially since we have sell side inefficiency in this zone that price would naturally want to fill. So I don't know if this key level right here is still acting as a magnet for price that we might want to take it back down. And it's possible. We might do it by sweeping a 1-day intermediate high, a 4-hour gap, the current 4-hour gap that we're in, which you'll see once I go to the 4-hour time frame. Right here, this 4-hour gap. Or this pullback was deep enough, and if we would have gone more, we would have lost any opportunity for bullish momentum. So that's an option. And what makes me believe that is this July 30th 4-hour candle right here. Clear change of character candle. Large candle body, no wick at the top, high volume, closing above this high right here on this wick. You can see it on the 1 hour as well. Clear candle body closing above this previous high, right? This previous lower high in the bearish context. So this is what you would call a clear market structure shift with this change of character. And then we temporarily continued to buy side, but this is the market structure shift. Now in that shift, we left behind a 4-hour bullish gap right here, which is resting right around that 50% and 61.8% range if we want to use Fibonacci from this impulse move, this low right here, to this high. So that's what I'm thinking, like maybe price can pull back into this range and then we can take a long position if we want to believe this market structure shift. But you have to make sure you don't get caught up in that when we are 400 points away. If you're waiting to enter a trade in one direction while the market's moving in the other for 400 points, chances are it's going to, that whatever time frame is pulling it in the opposite direction as what you want to trade in, it's going to show a high time frame on the 1 hour, on the 4 hour that contradicts your bias. So if my bias is bullish, by the time that this candle retraces into this key level, I'm going to have a massive 1 hour and 4 hour bearish candle. At that point, it's like seeing that as a retail trader or just someone who's entering the market freely, like not even an institution, they're going to see that and be like, why on earth would I take longs? And they're going to believe that, and they're going to short positions to join on that trend. And you might have a temporary pullback to the buy side, but long term is still going to be bearish. So you have to remember that when you're 400, when you're that many points away from your target of when you'd want to enter the trade, because at that point your trade is done. It's not going to carry out at 11:30 a.m. If you're talking lower time frame, like let's say this entire price action was on the 15-minute, then naturally the pullback might only be 100 points, and then you can start considering it. But 400 is way too much. So I don't expect price to pull into here with the hopes of me taking longs. I think it can pull into here, but at that point, I'm looking for a retracement entry to take shorts. What else do we have? So on the 1 hour, you can kind of see it more clearly. We have this gap fill right here. ES also had a gap fill. ES has not filled the entirety of the gap. NQ did prior to market open. So that's something we have there. We have London lows marked here, London highs. And then On the 4-hour, we're still holding this bearish SMT divergence. Now, that is also what kind of substantiated my claim of thinking that a bearish SMT is going to generate a temporary pullback for price to enter a 4-hour bullish gap, and then we take longs to align with the market structure shift of bullish. And I see it on the 4-hour here, and I also see it actually over here from this internal SMT right here. ES actually took out this 9 a.m. high from July 31st. So the Friday open high, ES took it out, which is, I think, previous day high. No, it's not previous day high for ES, but previous day high for NQ, ES took it out. So still, we are in a bearish SMT divergence, which explains why market opened bearish. That completely makes sense. But now my question is, we're in the what looks like the manipulation phase right now, right? This is price accumulation right here. Maybe you can see it on the 15-minute as well. This is price accumulation. We have this gap fill. We're kind of just restabilizing the market. But I think right now we're part of the manipulation leg where price is going to manipulate the buy side or the sell side. Right now it looks like, granted we're less than 5 minutes into market open, it looks like we're going to manipulate the sell side, right? If we manipulate sell side, distribution can still be sell side or it can be buy side. So that is something we determine from A, our daily bias, and B, confirmation. Because confirmation is basically if my bias is, let's say, bullish, for example, I want us to invert a low time frame fair value gap, and low time frame can be anywhere from 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute, 5 minute. I want us to invert that, invalidate it, prove that it has lost its strength, and we are now taking longs. I'd want to see one of the two, right? And that will confirm to me where I am distributing. If I'm distributing the same side as manipulation, so if we manipulate sell side, and I find that we kind of end high time frame on a 1 hour bearish, then I might look for a retracement entry. It might look something like this, and then I distribute sell side as well. Or if I manipulate that key level and I see a bullish confirmation here, I might take longs and I distribute buy side. So distribution does not have to align with manipulation at all, but it's just important to recognize when the phases happen, because it will happen every market. It will happen every morning, and it might happen fast. It might all 3 legs might happen in the matter of 15 minutes. Price accumulates right around pre-market, and then we manipulate it in 10 minutes, and then we distribute in the next 5 minutes right after that manipulation, and then we distribute in that direction for the rest of the day. So you have to be prepared to see it on a low time frame as well, which is why a mistake I was kind of making, or not even a mistake, but I would kind of focus too much on the 1 hour and 4 hour time frames, that I would forget that in a high liquidity environment like 9:30 a.m., price is going to respect 15-minute and 5 minutes. So I do want to at least look at it. It might not be as viable. It might not make my trade win percentage as high, but it's important to look at. So I looked at the 15-minute, and I'm not willing to go to the 5-minute. I'll consider 15 and 30 for the confluences for marking my key levels. 5 minutes is just too low. And on the 15-minute, I didn't see anything on the buy side. See, there's no gaps. There's no gaps that I see here. There's no gaps on the sell side either. So what's really happening right now is we're filling this gap. Okay, we filled this gap. So now that we filled that gap, I'm thinking, what do we want to do? What do we want to do? And the gap fill can actually act as a key liquidity level that we're able to sweep and continue in the dominant direction. So could very well take longs right now, and I wouldn't be opposed to it, because price is now seeing how far away this 4-hour gap is, and it's thinking, okay, that's 400 points away. I don't know if we want to go that low to continue in the dominant trend direction, which is bullish. So yeah, this SMT, I guess, substantiated this bearish price action, temporary pullback, filling this gap, and now we're having a bullish candle. Yeah, and I think that we are still ways away from this 4-hour gap and this intermediate high that would contradict our bullish trade. Still 300 points away, so I'd be comfortable taking a long somewhere in this zone right here. The only thing is, I guess, where's our confirmation, right? 7:30 a.m. August 3rd. Yeah. So that's the only thing, really. my only worry is ES. Um, in relation to where NQ is right now, uh, we're kind of we're pushing. We're pushing pretty high. Like we have made, remember this high right here that NQ has not taken out? ES just took their version of this high out a second time. So that to me is showing a clear SMT divergence, but again, like who knows, at the end of the 4 hour time frame, NQ could also take out that high. So I can't be married to that bearish SMT divergence and let that determine my trade direction. Another concern, I guess, is just that ES also hasn't fully filled its gap. So I'm thinking maybe like ES is currently rejected right in the middle of the gap, not even 50% of the way through, and pushed up 20 points in the first 9 minutes of market open. And it created another bearish SMT. So I'm thinking maybe we'll want to fill that gap. Of course, price doesn't have to, but it's acting as a magnet. We're about to have a SMT right here. A little tricky. A little tricky. I don't love gap fill days. I don't love them. I don't see any bearish confluences, which leads me to believe that, yeah, I just don't see anything bearish. I just do not see anything bearish. So, I mean, I guess we have this. We have this equal highs right here in that 5 minute gap. That's a fair claim. I would actually, yeah, I'm gonna have to wait a second. I'm gonna have to wait because yeah, I just don't know. The reason why this concerns me is we have a 5 minute gap right here with equal highs, intermediate highs in that zone. So what I believe to be happening right now is, like, let's say I saw this inversion. I saw this inversion on a 15 minute. 15 minute would trump a 5 minute time frame, right? 15 minute is a lot more influential than a 5 minute. It's 3 times more influential. But because I see a 5 minute contradicting in the opposite direction, I can't trust this gap for a few reasons. Not only that one, the second reason is that this fair value gap, this bearish one, does not follow bearish fair value gap rules, right? The candle body of the first or third candle are not within the wicks of the second candle. So this is more of just like we're filling inefficiency. You hear what I'm saying? So I'd actually be open to taking shorts at this key level, right? We were too worried about us inverting this, but we just entered an intermediate high on the 5 minute in a 5 minute bearish gap with a massive SMT divergence. I'm looking for us to invert this 2 minute. If we do, no, yeah. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna look for it on the 3 minute. I'm gonna need a 3 minute inversion. We have a 3 minute gap right here. There's a gap on the 3 minute. So if we have a bearish candle come down here, take out this low, I'd be very comfortable taking short positions. That's the thing. I'm only probably gonna risk 1 or 2 micros. Watch, because my stop loss I'd want is up here, and how many points away is that? 153 points. 153 times 2 is 300. 500 divided by 300 is less than 2. So it's only fair to trade 2 micros. But right now we're gonna have to wait for us to either hit this key level or maybe we'll continue buy side. And until then, it's not much we can do. Okay, so there's something happening which kind of contradicts the bearish trade or a short entry, and I'll find out any moment, and I'll definitely hop on that trade. But we're respecting this 3-minute and 2-minute gap right here, the bullish gap currently, and we just inversed a 1-minute bearish gap right here. Now I like this candle. I like this bearish doji right here, kind of resisting buy side liquidity, but we did just invert a 1-minute bearish. Now I'm hoping that the sweep of these equal highs within this 5-minute gap right here is sufficient to pull price down further. But if it's not, and we have a clear displacement candle body above these highs right here, then I will be open to taking longs, right? But I think that we can pull back a little more for sure. I know this would be considered an intermediate, so it's not sufficient for us to just inverse this 1 minute right here. We need to inverse this low. We need a candle body on a bearish candle closing at that low. And if we don't, then I can't enter a short trade. Yeah. Okay, so we just inverted that 30-second gap as well.
Order filled.
And maybe not the smartest thing to do right there. Kind of impulsive on my part, honestly. Just created a bearish S&P divergence, and because I saw it invert that 30-second bearish gap, kind of got a little impatient. Thought that maybe there might be an opportunity there, but we just created a bearish S&T, so I don't know how much I want to see. Like, this is how the market will move. The second I buy, it'll drop, and the second I sell, it'll temporarily push up. You gotta have confirmation, and I thought that 30-second invert confirmation was enough, but it's not enough. We need more. We need more. So now I have faith in this move right here. Definitely want to wait for us to take out this low. And if not, it's a no trade day. So here's the issue. ES is pushing. ES is extremely bullish. And when one of the pairs is that bullish, it's difficult to disregard that. It's very difficult to disregard that. I just have to trust that us inverting that is enough. So, I am thinking longs now. After seeing ES, just bringing my attention back to this clear displacement of that 30-second bearish gap, invalidating it. Sorry, 3-minute. See it on the 2-minute as well, invalidating it. I do believe that we could take longs, but we have this sell side liquidity right here that I feel like would be nice to sweep.
Order filled.
That's a good candle right there. I'm opening it. I'm trading at that right there. I'm trading at that. We got stop loss down here. Take profit. This intermediate high up here. And now we wait. Now we wait. there. Trading 2 micros. Yeah, could just go for a 1-to-1 ratio, but maybe this high right up here might be a stretch to want any of these other highs. I think previous day high is a good point there. You know, we just wait. If I hit 500 TP, so if I go positive, yeah, if I go positive another 700, I'm willing to take that trade. Yeah, positive another 670. So if this says 670, I'm willing to close out. Depends how the candle body looks by then. I might just go to break even and then let the price ride. But till then, no. We're gonna wait it out. All right, I'll resume once we hit TP or stop loss. Okay, clear on the 30-minute and the 15-minute and the 1 hour. Yeah, 1 hour. Full top, no wick. This is extremely clear bullish price action. There's no doubt in my mind we're going to end up taking out these highs right here, at least that high. I'll see how price reacts once we take out that high. I might close early, or I'll just hold till previous day high. It's not that far away. One thing is, in the next 45 minutes by 11 a.m., if we still haven't really displaced this prior 1 hour candle, the 9 a.m. to 1 hour candle, then we'll have created a 1 hour bullish gap, which could pull us deep enough to stop us out, but let's feel it out. I think we should be fine. And yeah, now honestly, we just wait. There's nothing else for us to do. All right, TP hit. That's 2.5 to 1 ratio trade. Haven't hit that many 2+ risk to rewards lately at all. I don't think I've looked for any in the past month, but this one it just seemed too clear. Thought at the very least we take out previous day high. I think there's a decent chance we'll fall into this 4-hour bearish gap as well, but that's it. $624 on the day.